Welcome to the Socialite series, where we celebrate and promote women who influence the world. We do this each and every week to bring you information, inspiration, and motivation from socialites who have something to say. I'm your host, Monica Karst. Now let's get this party started. Good morning and welcome to today's show. Tuesdays are my favorite day of the week. It's a great day to get a party started, don't you think? We are here live and you never know what's going to happen. I'm excited you joined us this week to the Socialite series, episode number 7, Conscious Erotic Touch, with guest host Amy Baldwin. Sit down and listen. You're going to want to pay attention to this one. Before I bring Amy on, I want to remind you, you too can join our conversation by calling the expert at phone number, are you ready? 248-629-0921. So join us, call in, ask questions. It's 248-629-0921. So our guest host today is a very special woman. Amy Baldwin is the owner of Pure Pleasure Shop in Santa Cruz, California, with her mom. Yes, she owns a pleasure shop with her mother. Amy has a degree in psychology, a minor in human sexuality from San Francisco State University. She is a certified yoga instructor, a certified sex educator, tantra. She has tantra training and is currently enrolled in Celeste and Danielle's Somatica sex coaching. So basically, Amy is one sexy human being whose passion is to help all of us enhance our sexual pleasure and well-being. Amy, welcome to the show this morning. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Fantastic. So you have a plethora of topics we could go into about the topic of sex. But let's start off with telling us what it's like to own a pleasure shop with your mother.
That's always the question, Monica.
I bet.
Because it is unusual. I'm at a trade show, and there's a couple other people that are in family businesses in the same industry. So they own either a chain of adult stores with their dad or their mom or their brother or sister, whatever it is. Usually they just don't work side by side with them. It's just they're kind of behind the scenes and they make like executive business decisions, and they're not actually on the retail floor talking about sexuality with other people in front of their relatives. For us, it's really, really, really comfortable, really natural. I was raised with, I guess, definitely an openness around sexuality. We weren't necessarily discussing sexuality all the time. Actually, we definitely were not. But my mom did let me know that it was okay, or more than okay, that it was actually healthy and natural for me to be sexually curious, sexually active at some point in my life. She didn't raise me with any sort of shame, and I think that really, really stuck with me. It was a really important message, even though we weren't sitting there talking about the sex that I was having. She let me know that whatever it was that I was doing, as long as it was safe, that she was there for me and that she supported me. And so in opening up a sex shop, of course, we didn't think we would do that. She didn't raise me to be like, one day I'm going to open a sex shop with my mom or with my daughter.
So whose idea was that?
Yeah, it's a little unusual. But through my education, I through going to school in San Francisco and seeing their local sex-positive sex shop there, I actually got the inspiration to open that. I called my mom, and I was like, this is what we should do. We should open up a store like this in Santa Cruz that specializes in sex education. And at first she was like, that sounds like an interesting idea, Amy. I don't know about that, but I'm intrigued. And from there we discussed it more, and we really started to look into it. And 2 years later we opened our store. And she's the best business partner anyone could ask for. We have that unconditional love thing going, endless trust. We know each other better than anyone knows us, and just and we both have this balance of, she runs one part of the business, I run another part, but then we'll work side by side as well. And I don't know, it doesn't feel any different to talk about sexuality next to or with my mom as opposed or compared to a friend or, she is my friend, and there isn't much of a difference there other than the fact that she's created me and is my business partner as well.
Well, and you do such a fabulous job. The two of you have such an amazing shop. It's so comfortable and beautiful and in a new location. Where's the new location? What's the address down there?
We are now at 111 Cooper Street, which is right next to the restaurant Laley and across from the museum or the Octagon Coffee Shop Lulu's. And it's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, come check it out.
It sure is. And you have a ton of different types of classes that you host there. So let's go into our topic for today. I know you have so many great things that you can talk about, and you have it on your website, a ton of different events that you host. So I highly encourage everybody who's in Santa Cruz to go look at that. And we'll give the website a little bit later. But conscious erotic touch. Let's go into that a little bit. Tell us some stuff about conscious erotic touch.
Yeah, well, I was really inspired last either February or March. I went to one of Charles Muir's Tantra weekends. He's local. He's up in Boulder Creek, and he is a very well-known Tantra educator, facilitator, practitioner, and he holds retreats and weekend seminars. And I went with my partner up to one, and there was a lot of couples there and then some singles. It was a big group of 40 people. And at the end of one of the days, the homework was to go home and practice kind of this conscious erotic touch, but that was specifically a man touching a woman in a really slow way that was with complete awareness and almost with a sense of healing. He actually pushed them to come into the experience as healing warriors. Like you're here just to serve and not to expect anything, and to be fully present for your partner and fully present for every bit of touch. That involves being really slow, being conscious of your breath, of what their bodies are experiencing, their arousal level, being just fully in your body and fully present. And so we went home and I did that homework, and it was fabulous. I had a fabulous time. My partner was fabulous on it.
I bet.
And, it was amazing. And then the next day came back, and we were all together, and we had a sharing circle, and there was men in there that were crying, and they were crying tears of joy and a little bit of sorrow in that, and they would look at their partners in front of everyone, and they were apologizing. They were saying, "I'm so sorry for not touching you the way that in the past, not touching you the way your body wanted to be touched. I had no idea that your body wanted to be touched with such slowness and such care and such presence." And it was really beautiful to see that they were having these breakthroughs that was showing them that the message they've always received about touch. A lot of people are learning about sexuality from pornography. Actually, especially this day and age, this generation, it's the number one educator, and it's the worst, and everything is fast and completely unconscious. There's no presence. It's all really goal oriented. It's not about the journey. It's get from point A to point B. It's definitely not about let me pay attention to what my partner likes and try to make them feel as much pleasure as possible. And that's where most people are learning their sexual. So that's their sex ed. And so it just really inspired me to move forward with that. I was already teaching a lot of classes like Oral Sex 101. Oral Sex.
Oh, it looks like we have a caller. Since we're at a pause, do you want to take it? Let's take it. Let's go with it. It is live, and then we're going to continue. But let's not lose our space. Hello, caller. Tell us who you are and where you're calling from.
Hey, it's Deirdre, and I'm calling from Canada. I've been listening to this show, and I have a question on, this consciousness of touching, is it like, starting fresh and doing a slow dance with your partner?
Ooh, good question. Thanks for asking and calling in.
Yeah, I would say a slow dance is a good way to put it. I always just kind of describe it more as making it a meditation when you're touching someone. Just completely involving full presence and embodiment. So staying in your body as opposed to going into your head and thinking about, what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to eat for breakfast? What do I look like? What are they thinking? Am I taking too long? All of that stuff. I think the slow dance is a really good way to put it, though. Just really moving soft and slow and sensually. But a really important key there is paying attention to all of the sensations and the senses and not going into that heady space that takes away from your ability to really feel what your body's feeling, as well as to pay attention to what your partner is feeling. But yeah, no, I really like the slow dance. That's hot. That's perfect.
Yeah, good question. Thank you for calling in, Deirdre, and asking that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, have a great day. I want to go into, I want to talk about fully present. When you said that, being fully present, it's amazing in this day and age on how none of us are fully present unless we choose to be conscious. So this is a very good topic as far as conscious erotic touch and being conscious in anything that we do every day. And the amazing stuff that does happen when we are fully present. So I'm glad that you picked up on or put that piece out there. And to turn off YouTube, people, that is not the way we learn how to be sexual. Right,
yeah,
Amy?
Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, yeah, 100%. It's really, really hard, as is meditation. People trying to learn how to meditate, and they're like, it's so hard. Like, all you're doing is sitting and focusing, or not where you're just put on one single point of focus, or whatever your practice is, because there's so many different meditation practices. And yet it can be so, so endlessly challenging for people, because we have these minds that want to move around. That's what they do. There's a monkey mind that wants to go here and there and all over the place. It doesn't want to stay in one place. It is a busy, busy mind. And so it makes sense that when we're touching another body, that the mind will continue to move all over the place. And so in no way am I degrading that, but what I am saying is that if you learn to bring presence into that and make that a meditation, and so make your touch that single point of focus, you can discover so much more pleasure, so much more pleasure that you never knew was there. And you just littlest sensations that you that had no idea, because you were never paying attention to it, because you were somewhere else. And it's just such a profound practice, yet so challenging. But yeah, you can bring it into any aspect of your life, whether it's sexuality or your career, or just walking down the street. You can be really conscious in all of those things and make it all kind of like an erotic meditation. Well, I like to make everything I do an erotic meditation because my work is erotic. So I guess you all don't have to do that if you're working at like a tech company. But maybe you should. I don't know. It'd be more enjoyable that way.
Why not? Life would be
fun
for all of us.
You don't have to tell your boss. Yeah, I won't tell anyone.
Well, it's fun because for you, talking about sex is so easy. You having a conversation with you at any point about sex is there's no taboo in it. And in the real world, everyone has such a taboo about talking about it. And when you're doing the girlfriend talk and in your 40s like I am, and women are talking about sex, and it's so sad to hear about like the disconnect and how touch isn't even a part of it, and how it's not talked about, and pleasure for women is not talked about when it should be. It's supposed to be fun. So tell us about the taboo of sex. And like, you have people coming into you all the time. You're leading workshops. What do you find that women need more of to ask for to, bring this into their lives?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's a big, big piece too. Of course, it's different for everyone, but I think the first thing is that a lot of people, whether they're regardless of their gender, but women definitely go through this, or a lot of women do, is kind of like, what do I want, and am I worthy of it? Like, what is it that I actually want? I've been doing this one thing for so long that I don't even know if that's the thing my body likes anymore. So there's a lot. It's very common for people to kind of get lost on what it is that they actually desire. And then once they figure out what they desire, then the next hurdle is, how do I get it, and do I deserve it? Is someone going to want to give it to me? Am I too much or not enough, or to this, to that? And am I going to be too needy if I ask for it? Am I going to hurt their feelings and make them feel like they're not doing anything right if I ask for it? And there's just so much around it. It's such a deeply loaded conversation, sexuality, that being sexuality, and yet there's so much profound experience that can come from it once you actually get in there. But shame, I'm really passionate about. Clearly, conscious erotic touch is something that, well, I have a lot of topics about sex, but I'm really passionate about conscious erotic touch, and shame is huge because everyone has it. Everyone has it to a certain degree. Everyone has just the littlest bit of sexual shame, and it's so easy to get, whether it's, you were naked and someone just lightly poked your belly the wrong way, and all of a sudden you thought that they were fat shaming you silently, and then that stuck with you for years. That, it's that easy for us to become imprinted with something that is that really makes us insecure, makes us or ashamed, really go into this disassociated dark place. So it's a really important conversation. But yeah, I like what you were saying about, you're talking to the girls about sex, and the more you do it, the less shame you'll have. It's a practice. Just as I was talking about conscious erotic touch being a meditation, sexuality and being good at sexuality, or being open or comfortable with yourself, it's all a practice. It's not like you're born knowing every single skill and completely comfortable with every single thing. It's all the more that we put into it, the more we actually experience, the more we do it, the more we practice it, the better we are at it. And this is why very sexually experienced people, like sluts, I like to say sluts in a good way because I'm a total slut advocate here. They are doing it right. If they're doing it for the right reasons, of course, themselves in consensual circumstances, they're the ones with the most practice, therefore probably know what they like the most, or probably having the best sex.
There you go. Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect. It definitely does. And on that, I wanted to comment on one thing. I was on this other show last night, and I was using this as an example, and I think it's a really brilliant example. So if you look at children, you look at 2 or 3-year-old kids, or whatever, just really young kids, toddlers, and they're naked and they're running around. They're wow, life is so good. Life is all bliss. They're touching everything. It's amazing to touch, touching grass and touching trees. And then they find a stuffed animal and they start rubbing the stuffed animal on their genitals because it feels good. Kids are little pleasure seekers. That's our natural state. We were born as pleasure seekers. We were born as conscious erotic touchers of this feels good. Now this feels good. And I'm going to find other things that feel good. And then we were taught by society that that's not okay. And so now, as adults, we're trying to unlearn that, trying to unlearn the shame and all those messages that told us that we weren't supposed to be pleasure seekers. So I just like that example, and it also gives me more appreciation for children and the way that they're running around and having the best time ever.
Oh,
I'm
heck
I'm trying to get there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody go get naked and run around and rub stuffed animals on your genitals.
Go rub your genitals on things.
It's not going to look as cute as it does on a 2-year-old.
Nah, you look really cute. But I mean, I support it. Get out there. Get out in nature, run around, rub your genitals on some grass, or maybe not a tree, but yeah.
So take us through the steps of a simple erotic touch practice, eye contact, putting love into your hands. What are some tips that could get someone started right away?
Yeah. So I would say those are two really great things: eye contact and putting love into your hands too. Imagination. This brings us back to the kid topic. When we were kids, we had such fabulous imaginations. We were making up all these fun stories in our head, and then we kind of lost that with the chaos as we got older. So using imagination with your touch in and breath, combined with real breath, breathing in and out, and you can actually do a circular breath. So you can exhale out of your right arm and your right hand into the other person as you touch them, and imagine energy moving out your arm into them, and then inhaling up through your left hand and arm into your body, and keep that circular breath going as you touch them in whatever touch it is that you're doing. I guess clearly that has to be like a two-handed touch in that case. So yeah, you can do a circular breath. You can actually imagine that you're sending love from your heart out through that breath. I know that sounds like kind of abstract and out there, but this is just imagination, and it will do whatever it is meant to do for you if you choose to make it a practice, and it will make you conscious because you will be fully present in the touch that you're giving to this person. Sure. Eye contact is a really, really sacred practice. It scares a lot of people because when you look someone in the eyes, you're like, oh yeah, you can fully see all of me. And that's the feeling that people get, and so that's why a lot of people try to look the other way. And so people can become unconscious in eye contact. They'll start eye gazing, and then they're in their head the whole time. Oh my God, this is weird. What's going on? Oh my God, I can't believe it. They can see everything. How do I get out of here?
So true.
Locking eyes. It doesn't mean that you're actually fully present. So even in that moment, focusing on your own breath as you're locking eyes, maybe synchronizing breath with them, or whatever it is that keeps you in your body and in the somatic experience of what you're feeling or what your partner might be feeling, as opposed to the heady experience of insecurity and whatever is the wandering mind. And if you wanted to give someone an erotic massage, you would start with. I'm a big advocate for oils.
Wait, before you go into that, real quick, back up 1 second. Are you doing the touch with clothes or without clothes?
You can do it any way.
Okay.
I mean, anytime you touch someone, whether it's clothed or not clothed, and whether it's you're touching them on a shoulder or you're touching them on a breast, you can make it conscious and erotic.
Okay, so I just wanted to bring that point up, that it could be both, because now you're going into massage, but it could still be
I was just talking about like an example. Yeah, no, it can be for anything. I'm at this trade show here, and I'm pretty sure I'm known as the girl that snuggles up on everyone. So, because I love all that. I've been working with these people for 8 years, and so I only get to see them maybe 4 times a year, and so whenever I'm with them, I'm snuggling on them and just rubbing them and rubbing their shoulders, and and they're not used to it. They're not used to being touched with someone that's consciously touching them with and with I'm touching them, feeling the healing that I'm giving to them, and paying attention to their response as I rub their shoulder while we have a business meeting. And people don't usually do that, but that's what I get to do. and
it's magical. It's magical when you receive that, when there's someone doing that. You're like, wow, that feels really good. This isn't sexual. This is healing. It feels good. And to receive that.
I've had this conversation the last couple of days with a number of people because they saw that. They're like, "That, thank you so much for that. I feel so good." There's a couple of people that were saying that endlessly to me for yesterday, and it's not that there's anything magic. I'm not a massage therapist. It's that I've separated. So if you break it down, Sherry Winston does a really good job in the book, The Women's Anatomy of Arousal. It's a fabulous book if you want to learn anything about women's arousal. It's incredible. And she breaks that touch down to 4 different types of touch. There's healing, so I'm going to try to heal you, make you feel better. And then there is loving, I'm going to hug you, or a loving kind of that's the energy that you're giving them. Then there's sensual, I'm waking up the senses, lightly caressing you. And then there's sexual. And our culture tends to kind of has decided that almost all touch on another person is sexual, and or that it has to be. If I touch someone of any gender, but quite often if it's the opposite gender, then it's sexual. Oh, you can't do that unless you want to have sex with them, or that we can't walk around just rubbing people's shoulders and giving them healing touch, or I can't just go up to someone and give them a big, deep, long hug because that would be loving touch to me, because it might be sexual. And I think when we break it down and look at touch as this really dynamic thing with different messages, it really can open the doors so that we can give more touch to people and receive more, and in turn be much happier love-filled humans. It would be such an amazing world if we could all do that. Oh my God.
Oh, I totally agree. And I'm a toucher. And sometimes I forget when I meet someone and I give them a big hug and they kind of step back and I'm like, oh, I forgot. I hug people and not everybody likes to be hugged. It's it's just that exchange. It's like, it's exchange. I do it naturally and other people do not like it.
Yeah.
So we need everybody to like it.
Yeah. And people have their stuff based on maybe trauma, and so boundaries are totally okay. Like, it's so okay for someone to say, hey, no, please don't touch me like that, or, this is my boundary. They can totally set a loving boundary that lets you know that they actually don't want to receive touch. They don't want to receive the hug, and that's completely okay. I think that if people open themselves up to just understanding that there are different levels of touch and that they were entitled to setting boundaries, then it just change the world one hug at a time. I don't know.
Well, okay. So where does one come to see you in Santa Cruz? Go ahead and give us your address again, website, and let's talk about your upcoming event since we are coming to a close.
So address again is downtown Santa Cruz at 111 Cooper Street, next to Lelia and across from the museum downtown. Our website is www.purepleasureshop.com. And we specialize in high quality adult toys and sex education. So everything that you find in there is high quality toy. The FDA does not regulate the sex toy industry, people, so there's still a lot of nasty, toxic materials in sex toys, and we do not carry any of that. So be careful about what you buy. I also created a coupon code too, in honor of a workshop that I will talk about in a second. But if you do go to our website and you want to go shopping, if you use the coupon code Wild Woman, all caps, all one word, you will get 20% off of your purchase. And the Wild Woman thing, I am co-facilitating a rewilding workshop alongside Katie Jacobson, who is a amazing yoga teacher and Ayurveda healer in Santa Cruz. And it's on August 6th, and it's a day-long retreat. We're calling it an urban retreat because it's at Pure Pleasure. We'll definitely get out in nature because that's part of rewilding too, but it's all day on Saturday, August 6th. And you can sign up on our website. But the inspiration behind this was kind of like what I was talking about with the little kids as pleasure seekers. Bringing us back, specifically for female identified individuals, and it's geared to bring us back to that original state of breaking down the walls of domesticity, of drawing all those walls that gave us all these rules of thinking who we should be and how we should act, and especially in regards to sexuality, bringing us back into that state of who we really are, like our ultimate truth as a sensual, sexual being, and so that's why it's the rewilding. It's really it really is breaking down the domestic, because we are like these domestic animals that have to behave a certain way, when really that doesn't have to be the case. So I'm really excited about that. That's like one of the 5 million topics that I'm really excited about.
Well, I'm really excited about it too. I'm going to that. I'm signing up.
Yay! Yeah, we really only get it while you can.
So thank you. And everybody remember the coupon code. It's Wild Woman, all capital, and purepleasureshop.com. Correct, Amy?
That's the one.
Right? Fantastic. And be sure to check all of the events she has. There is no topic Amy does not touch. So go on and check it out. Amy, thank you so much for being with us this morning. I appreciate you. And thank you to Nesha. And I hope Damian is out. My producer is out having fun traveling the world playing in his band this week. And to all the rest of you, that's a wrap. And this is Monica Karst reminding you every day is a day to celebrate. Cheers. Thank you for tuning in to the Socialite series. To find out more, visit us at santacruzsocialites.com and monicakarst.com. Until next week, be seen and be heard, and get out and shine your social light on your community.